Okay, so I'm excited to share with you this new 300-hour immersion that we've designed for the Sage Yoga School. It's different than we've done in the past, where it was in the past more choose your own adventure based on the modules that were being offered, and you could create your own pathway through them. I've been wanting to redesign this training for the past little while to make it more of like a cohort cohesive flow. And a part of it that's really important to me too is making sure that we're all doing a lot of practice, because that's really where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And yeah, so this includes that, though I don't want you to be intimidated by the idea like, will I have enough time to do all the practice that I'm supposed to do? It's really like being held accountable and having the time and space offered for us to all practice together. And I love that it's a 2-year program that we're doing together versus, something you could do like a month-long teacher training, 300-hour teacher training kind of really quickly in 30 days. But over the 2 years together, we'll have this long arc and opportunity to really witness each other and be with each other in community and support each other in wherever our evolution is taking us. And yeah, just the other night I was having this kind of image in my mind as I was falling asleep and thinking about the training, and it was like a spaceship and the crew getting on board, and we were kind of like embarking on this journey into the unknown, and we didn't quite know where we were going to go. We knew we were going to be together, and that felt really, really good. So it's like that, we know that we're going to be together. And I feel like during this time, the sense of community is even more important, also to feel like you've got that grounded sense of connection to people, so it'll offer that as well. And yeah, have you seen the program guide, Crystal?
A little bit. I saw is it just that picture that said like the little things that you'd be doing, the retreat, the this, the that, or is there
Yeah,
like a deeper one?
there's a deeper one. Let me share my screen and then I'll go through it a little bit with you. All right. Let me get over here. Here. So this is the program guide. You see it?
Hmm.
Yeah. And here we get into the program requirements, where we're starting on November 11th, and that's just going to start with a call together. We're not starting with a module like a whole weekend like we have in the past. We're starting on this day, everyone that's in the program being on the call and coming together. It'll probably be like around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock Mountain Time. And then to get us all connected, get to know each other, and go over the expectations, answer any questions, that kind of thing. And then we'll have our first practice the following Monday. The practices are going to be offered through Zoom, unless we can get to in person as well, but they'll be Zoomed also for the people that aren't in the local area. Every Monday, Mountain Time at noon. And those are going to go, the practices are going to go all through the whole 2 year, plus or minus some weeks that we might miss. And the requirement would be to take, I wanted to say it is 60 hours. So 60 classes out of theoretically 104 if there's 52 weeks in a year. So
Hmm.
lots of practice together. And so that's just to say on November 11th we'll start, which is a Wednesday. The next Monday we'll have our first practice, and then our first module. There's 100 hours of required modules, or 5 modules, approximately 20 hours each, that are required. In this document, the first ones that are listed are in person, that could be offered here in Boise, and they're not till fall of 21 and fall of 2022, yoga and social justice and the sacred relations tantra one, which are 2 modules that we just did, but those will repeat in the future. So the first module is an online one, that's yoga psychology, here December 4th, 5th, 6th, that weekend. And since it's online, we're adding an extra couple days, Wednesday and Friday of the next week. And then we'll have another module again, required module, Bhakti Yoga, that's offered in May of 2021, and then Yoga as a Life Path that's further down the road in the winter, spring of 2022. The further out calendar spots later in when we get into 2022, or yeah, I haven't scheduled those yet. So I'll schedule those when we get further in closer to that. And I'm going to add more modules that'll be online in 2021. So those will be coming up too. I have like a big set of ones that I want to offer, but I haven't plugged them into the calendar yet because I'm kind of just waiting till the new year to see where things are at to put those in. But those 5 are the basic 5 required ones: yoga and social justice, tantra, yoga psychology, bhakti yoga, yoga's a life path. And for those that aren't here in person to take the 1 and 2, they can take 2 of the other modules that are offered online, unless they want to come to Boise for those. And then if you've already taken one of those, which you may already have, I'm not sure, you can replace it with another elective module. So there's 5 required modules and then 2 elective modules that could be in person or online. That'll come from our calendar, which I know you've seen. Here's our calendar. Like, anything that we've got here, the subtle bodies, Ayurveda, meditation, yoga for trauma, Kundalini, the resilience and well-being. Those are just the few that we've got scheduled for 2021. But like I said, I'm going to be adding more of those in over the next 2 years as the years go on. So elective modules will be there. And then another big piece is the Dharma Project, which is something as you as a professional yoga teacher being in the world, it's something that you would create as an offering, and that I always think of like your master thesis. And it can be all different kinds of things, like yoga program for a local school, a research paper, your own online yoga program, a business plan for a yoga studio, a talk on meditation, a yoga and meditation outreach project. And it usually has to do with something that, again, you're really passionate about and want to include in your niche and offerings. And I help you kind of shape what that might look like. So you come up with some ideas and we talk, and then you begin and then see this project into fruition over the 2 years. Somebody like you who is already teaching a lot of meditation, it might angle into something like that. Or I think I saw you were doing something with Reiki, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it could even be along those lines as well. It'd be up to you. And then a retreat. The retreat is 40 hours, or it's 2 modules. And the hope would be, even if a student's not local to Boise, they would still make the retreat. And the requirement would be to come. I'm going to offer a retreat in 2021 and 2022, and to come to one of those. And the cost of the retreat, the teaching for the retreat, is included in the cost of the training, but travel and lodging and meals, those would be extra. And I'd like to take my groups to Teotihuacan, Mexico, and down to Boulder, Utah. And so it'll likely be one of those spots that will go together as a cohort for 5 days and dive deeper into connection there, which again, really, really, really excites me. Those are TBD. I'm going to wait again until we get into 2021 to plan the first 5-day retreat. And then there's the practice, which I mentioned, the Monday practice, and you can do those live if you have the time available, or there'll be a recording that's shared every week of the class. And the weekly class will be chanting, asana, pranayama, dharma, all those kinds of things. Mentoring will be a part of it also, where every Wednesday, the second Wednesday of the month, there'll be an hour group call all through the program. And then each individual student will get 6 private one-on-one mentoring sessions with me through over the 2 years that we would schedule. So that's going to be part of it. Teaching is a small part of it too. The 10 hours teaching, which is really minor, and I think somebody like you would move through that really quickly. And it's built in with the sadhana that often ties into your Dharma project that you're offering to the 300-hour students as part of it. And then for the local community or somebody that you're teaching for too. So continuing to like hone your teaching skills throughout the course of the training also. So that's kind of like the meat of the 300 hours and where those hours are going and how it's all broken out. Do you have any questions about any of that?
No, I don't think so. It seems pretty straightforward.
Okay. Okay. Um, yeah. I mean, so that's kind of like the meat of the program. There's some
Okay.
required texts here too. Playing Big, Polishing the Mirror, Be Loved Now, and then my book. And we'll use those books at different times throughout the program. The
Okay.
cost for the training is 4,000, and it starts with $100 registration fee, and then to begin a $500 down payment, and then the rest of the um, tuition can be paid over a year in our interest-free payment plans. Again, similar to the 200-hour that you were in. So to
Mhm.
start, you would just have to fill out the registration form. There's one for the 300-hour. Pay the registration fee and put down the down payment if you're not paying more um, at the same time.
Okay.
And then this is a breakdown again of what's included in the tuition.
Okay.
And I can send this
Now,
document to you also.
oh yeah, that would be awesome. The one question that I did have is, I still have to do like my teaching for the end of my 200 hour. I was kind of waiting until it could be in person
Mm-hmm.
because I just didn't want to do it to nobody. So does it matter if I sign up if I don't have that part done yet?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't believe that it necessarily does.
Okay.
I'll double check that with Naomi though. She sometimes knows the Yoga Alliance requirements better than I do, but I
Okay.
feel like I guess it's different. I guess I'm referencing I know that there's people that have joined the 300-hour program and let's say they've taken modules before they officially like I want to begin, and then they kind of retroactively say, well, I want to begin, but I've taken these couple modules. Let's count those towards my 300 hour. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? But
Yeah.
they've already finished their 200 hours. So it might be that your graduation date needs to be begin before we begin.
Yeah.
And all that you need to do is teach your practice class.
Yeah.
I bet
Which
that's
I can schedule now. I need to message Naomi about that because she said that we could do that coming up soon.
mm-hmm.
So I came back from my trip and then I went straight to the last module. And so I just need to email her now because now I can do it.
Okay. Yeah. So I bet we can figure that out and get you in
Okay.
done with that before we begin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What else?
I mean, that was kind of my biggest question. I know that there's not necessarily a huge integration period necessarily, but I
Between
also
the end of your
just,
program and the start of this.
yeah, so there's not a huge integration program, not program, but time frame, but I still feel like I'm just ready to learn all the things.
Yeah. And this is spread out enough too, where it's again not like you're jumping into like a month-long immersion right on the heels
Yeah.
of finishing your 200 hour. It's spread out. So even though we're going to start on the 11th, our first module isn't for another month, and we're just beginning to
Yeah.
practice together. And then it slowly builds and takes time. So, in that way, there kind of is a lot of integration. And I'd say if you're interested in joining, I would do it now because I don't know if I'll do it again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not going to offer the 300-hour in the way that we have. Like people aren't going to be able to just join it and start to take modules.
Yeah. And that's why I wanted to make sure if it's a problem that I haven't finished that one class yet because I have to do it. So,
Yeah, I would say get that class taught, and you could teach
yeah.
it to a small group out of
Mhm.
source for sure.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay.
And then you'll be finished up.
Yeah, I will be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, any other thoughts or questions about it?
I don't think so. I've been kind of just like following the posts, and then I have a pretty good idea of how things kind of flow just because I already went to Sage, I think.
Yeah.
And so I was just seeing what other details or whatever came up. So I figured I would just check in and see.
Yeah, and that's the big outline and skeleton for it. And I'm leaving a little bit of space because when you plan something, you have an idea of how it's going to be. But I'm also aware that once we get into it, we might decide to make collective changes. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so having this scaffolding that feels really good, but also knowing that it's going to be a living organic process too. But the main part of it is that we're going to start together and we'll have these 2 years really committed together to learn and grow.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Oh my gosh, I'm so, so excited for it. So
Yeah.
excited. It feels so good. Hmm.
Me too. I've been really wanting to learn more from you because I didn't do vinyasa, so I wasn't in a ton of your classes, but every time I'm around you, I'm just like, there's something about her. I don't know. I'm supposed to know something. I feel really drawn. I don't know what it is, but I get super drawn in. So I'm excited for all the things. Whatever it is I'm supposed to learn, I know it's supposed to be from you.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have a really intimate connection for sure. For sure. So, okay, well, cool, Crystal. Thank you for joining me. I'm gonna post this up and share it with other folks that want to learn about the program too. Are you okay with that?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, again, thank you and reach out. I'll send you an email with the program guide so you can look over it and read it in more detail too. And the application.
Okay, awesome.
Send you that.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, all the things. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Bye.